I think I'll just wait here for a few days before continuing on to Ascalon Settlement. You know, till all these centaur attacks die down a bit.
If that's what you're waiting for, you'll never leave this post. Greetings. I watch over this place and all visitors, as if they were my own flesh and blood.
Well, a pleasure to meet you, young man. What delight.
In that case, buy me a pint?
I'll buy you coffee.
Yes, coffee. That would be great.
Well, we're back. Welcome, everybody. Casey here, ready to continue our adventure off with the vigil to save the people of Triskel Quay, who have been threatened by an undead attack. This comes at the same time as some news that the Order of Whispers have uncovered, that it seems there's a missing in action member of the Seraph who might have something to do with these attacks, but we've chosen to forego that information in order to save the townspeople first, which I think is far more noble, correct? So we just hit level 30, we've got elites to show off, we've got some cool stuff. I did want to open the video talking about another mechanic, another feature of Guild Wars 2. This series obviously hoping to explain as much as possible. And today what I want to do is show you this little chest that you can see bobbing over my mini-map right now. What this is a login reward. Basically, every day that I've turned on the game to record a video for you guys, this has appeared. It's just I've collected it off screen before we started recording. So if I click this, you'll notice a very special looking kind of chest. If I click it, you see a panel comes up. We get that cool sound effect. Panel comes up that says login rewards, and I'm currently on day 12. And it says here, you unlocked a bag of more crafting materials. So essentially, this is a system you find in a lot of games now, particularly MMOs. It's an incentive drive to keep people having the game installed. Basically, all you have to do is turn Guild Wars 2 on for a second, and they'll give you something for logging in. And they're hoping through that they can keep people having the game installed, and they're hoping through that they'll have some trickle down of continual activity. The more days you log in, the more stuff you get. For some MMOs, they're really kind of punishing with their login reward system, where it's you can only qualify for the next reward if you get it every day in a row, and if you miss a day, you go back to the start. For Guild Wars 2, you just keep progressing up the rewards until eventually you get a big one at the end of the month, and then you can keep going. So they're very, very casual and free and easy about it, very much in line with this game's philosophies. I'll show you what the rewards are, though. So, first of all, you get these items here, Mystic Coins. That's involving a feature at Lion's Arch we'll get to later, but you use these coins to get special items by combining them in rare recipes. So you get Mystic Coins, and they come more and more and more the more daily login rewards you get. You've got bags of Laurels. So these are a special item that you get 1 here, then you get 10 here, then you get another 2, another 3, another 4, and then you get a choice of even more. So Laurels, this is the only way to get Laurels in the game, and they are a special item that at every home city, so up here at the palace, this very special Laurel item, right near the throne room, you can find the Laurel Merchant. So there are several of these in the game. Most of them are in the home cities. And when we speak to the Laurel Merchant, she says, what do you need? And you notice we get a ton of different stuff we can buy here. Each of these on the left of the vendor tab, of the vendor list, is another tab. And you can just scroll through tons and tons and tons of items. So you can buy stuff like, where are they here? One-time purchases. I've never had these before, and I figured I would show them to you. So for 3 Laurels, which isn't too many, but obviously takes a little bit of real-world time to get to, you can buy a starter kit for the various disciplines in the game. So you know how Casey has the tailoring backpack? Why don't we make him a proper tailor? So I'm going to buy this. I can only buy this once on my account ever. 5 years, basically, I've been able to do this. I've never done it. I decided to do it here on this video for you guys. So, tailoring starter kit. You can only buy 1 of these per account. Are you sure you want to purchase it? And now it's gone from the list, as you can see. And so, yeah, you can buy all kinds of stuff, including some of the best gear in the game. Some of the most reliable ways of getting the highest tier accessories are all the way over here. We'll talk more about what that tier is when we get to level 80 and beyond. But yeah, so that's basically login rewards. You can get some other stuff. You can get Black Lion stuff. Which is like, you know, repair canisters and merchants on the fly and, you know, just utility items. You get luck, which we'll talk about later. I guess you can get materials and so on. I may come back to this menu later, but I did want to show it to you guys. So today, when I log in, I get a bag of more crafting materials. So that we'll open that in a second. When you come to this next page, the game also teaches you about dailies. So you get an item for logging in, but you also, every day, can do a selection of special things around the world for even more rewards. So the game basically gets you to log in, get that item, and then they say, hey, do you want to do one of these things? We'll give you bonus rewards for doing it. And what this does is it encourages lots of activity and population to areas of the game that otherwise wouldn't get very much. So if you check it out here, one of the things we can do for our daily today is to gather raw materials by harvesting trees in Ascalon, in any of the Ascalon maps. So we could do that. We could even click this eyeball, which would mean on the top right, it appears here so that we can always see it. Another one is we can go to one of the expansions and find a vista there. We can go to another one of the expansions and complete dynamic events in the world. Or we have the daily Shadow Behemoth. Defeat the Shadow Behemoth in God's Lost Swamp in Queensdale. I've shown you that on the series. Now, he's not due to spawn. Don't get too excited. I'm not about to do that on this video. We're going to go help the people at Triskel Quay. But yeah, they can guide you to world bosses. And you'll notice there's a real range of different things here you can do. Not only that, but remember when we were in Lion's Arch, and I told you that there's that whole other game, basically, the PvP side of the game in the Heart of the Mists? Well, if I click up here, there's a whole different selection of dailies for playing PvP. And if I click over here, there's a whole other selection of dailies for playing World versus World as well, the two PvP competitive formats. So that you get a ton of choice on what you want to do. And if you do all of them, you get extra rewards. You get straight up 2 gold. So we've earned a reasonable amount of gold throughout the series, but 2 gold infusion every day is pretty good. And so yeah, generally a really successful system, and that's what you're seeing up here on the top right. The game is telling me about my dailies. I've made sure before doing every single video to finish doing my dailies before recording for you all, so it wouldn't clutter the UI, and only now do you see that that's what I've been doing. I'm just going to click to the daily Shadow Behemoth to make the list not look very big, and there you go. So yeah, by doing that, like I said, we get the bag of raw crafting materials, which I can open up, and it gives me all of these sweet materials, like dust from killing enemies, bone shards, venom sacks. This is all used for crafting, and of course, the Tailoring Starter Kit, which gives us a load of stuff. So, 100 rawhide, 200 jute, threads, bloods, venom sacks, totems, all kinds of stuff, all good materials which we can deposit away. So I will show you guys now. If we waypoint in Divinity's Reach down to the lower rung, you'll remember, if I can remember exactly where the tailoring is over this way, sort of underneath the Palace Gardens, kind of underneath where we were a second ago on the under rim, you'll see that there's a ton of different crafting things we can do. I've shown you a little bit before, but if we come over here, we can come to this tailoring station. Oh, sorry, and you'll notice we can't do anything. We speak to the lady, and we can say, please, can you teach me to be a tailor? And so now we're a tailor. If I go to my hero panel, you see we get equipment and stuff at the top. You get your build and your skills and stuff. You get the training wheel, which I've shown you. You get the story journal. And then lastly, this new tab has just unlocked. This is the crafting tab. And you can see all of the different disciplines. There are 9 different disciplines in the game, or is it 10? There's quite a lot of different disciplines. And yeah, we can start to craft things. So here's a list of different things we can do. If we wanted to make that back piece, let's see, how would we go about that? Backpack. This is the first backpack, okay? So for this, we'd need some simple tailor's tools, which we can craft together from jute and jute thread, which we just got from our Laurels there. And then with the tools, you can combine it with a backpack frame, which you can buy from the lady next to it. And voila, you get the simple tailor's backpack. Now, what's really kind of cool is you can upgrade that backpack later as we become a better tailor. And you can do all kinds of other stuff. Here's another thing I'd like to make, an 8-slot jute bag. So if we go to our inventory, you'll notice here, some of our bags have only got 5 slots, 4 slots. They're not very good. But here we can craft some 8-slot ones. So how about we just make 2 of those? 1, 2. It's leveling us up as a tailor. And now we get a ton more inventory space. I can throw away this old green leather bag that we got from the fish stand, I think, ages ago. I'll delete that as well while I'm at it. We can also throw away the purple bag. Oh, wait, the purple bag's got some items in it, maybe? No, the purple bag doesn't have some items in it, but we're trying to put the purple bag into the purple bag. So let's put it that way. There we go. And then we can equip this and see we get some new stuff here. There's actually loads of different bags and things in the game, and hopefully I'll focus more on those as time goes forward. We got the invisible one here too, so why don't we drop this over here, move this here, and we put the invisible one. So look at that. We now have 52 inventory slots, and our space is growing. That can go all the way up to, like, 320, I think, or something. Like, there's a lot you could do for bags, stretching across the expansion. So, yeah, there you go. That's just a couple more systems. Let's go over to Triskel Quay now and continue our adventure. Sorry to the people about to be attacked. I'm sure we'll get there in time. Don't worry. I'll probably speed this up as we go as well, and I'm going to drink some coffee in the meantime because I've just woke up. It's pouring with rain. It's one of those classic, like, miserable summertime wet days, and I thought I'd play some Guild Wars to relax me and cheer me up a little bit. Let's go this way. All right, so I'll see you guys in a second. All right, here we go. We're here at Triskel Quay, and now we'll notice we got the story marker here unlocked here. This was not available before. Last time we just ran on by, we didn't realize that some part of the story would occur here. And yeah, let's head on in. So we got some new elites. Ooh, yeah. So I think the first one I got was the Reaper of Grenth. So let's just quickly look at this. Become a Reaper of Grenth, chilling and poisoning nearby foes. So what this does, I'll cast it, is it gives us this crazy looking effect that will last, not forever, but quite a long time. And anyone standing near us will start having their health drained, and they'll get slowed down physically moving. Their cooldowns on their abilities will slow down because we're pumping out chill and poison constantly. Also, that can't be blocked, so anything unblockable is usually really good in the game. So even if they're like standing near us in a shield stance, they'll still be sapped away by the power of Grenth. And lastly, this is a 10 target skill. Most things only hit like 3 or 5. This is one of the rare ones that goes up to 10. So you can sap the health of 10 players around you if you're using this, say, in World versus World or whatever, or you're particularly swarmed by Risen and things. It's kind of nice. Generally not that strong. However, if you play one of the other professions, the Necromancer, you can get some cool synergies with your traits, right? Because some of them do special things based on chill or poison and stuff. And so, yeah, you can sort of turbocharge it as a Necromancer. As an Elementalist, we don't get too much from it, but I did want to show it off. So, yeah. Hello, Hiroki. How's it going? Oh, dear. It doesn't look very good, does it? Not very good at all. Hold on. Is our audio set up properly? No, it wasn't. All right, there we go. Well, lots of fire, lots of poison, lots of nastiness. I don't know. Look at that.
It's worse than we feared. Zaitan's minions are everywhere.
It looks bad down there. Do we have enough soldiers to save the town?
Whether we do or not, we're going to try. If my death saves an innocent life, then I've done my duty as Vigil. But I plan to go down fighting.
Jesus.
Agreed. What's Vigil protocol in this kind of situation?
Well, we've got no time to form ranks. I sent our soldiers ahead into the town to drive back the undead. They'll need our help.
I'm ready for a fight, Hiroki. Let's not waste any more time.
I guess she's supposed to look like a hero, right? But she's so cavalier. So we get these farmer. Now, there's an interesting thing in this mission. I don't know whether I'll be able to share it. Very rare thing that Guild Wars very infrequently does, okay? So first, let's just speak with Hiroki.
Never leave a comrade behind.
And she says...
More undead over here.
Yeah, so there it was. I'll tell you about that in a second. She says, the undead are everywhere. We have to destroy them before the town is overrun. I'm with you. Stay close and we'll handle this together. So, the game... This is some crazy weird trivia, right? The game does have the ability to know whether you've been moving or not. Like, for example, right at the start of the game, if you never move, it will throw a tip on your screen saying, hey, you can use W, A, S, and D to move around on your keyboard. The game can detect if you're moving. This is one of the very, very, very rare places where if you stand still for long enough...
There's still more.
There you go. If you stand still for long enough, Hiroki has special dialogue that triggers trying to urge you on. And again, I think this is basically a result of some of the human things or some of the earlier stuff that they made, which means sometimes it's lower quality than other aspects of the game. But other times, it's you see it's playing with interesting mechanics and ideas that don't really resurface anywhere else. But yeah, this is one of those special little situations where if you just stand around, if you're confused, I guess, or you obviously see a lot of different video games do such things, you get like a little prompt telling you to keep going, that it's not over yet. So yeah, we're going to help blow these guys up with our scepter.
Thanks, but don't let up. Everybody else is still fighting inside.
So these are the Seraph, by the way. We're with the Vigil.
I'll guard the front entrance. Move in. There are more of us still fighting inside.
But the Seraph are here too, so we're kind of comrades in arms. Separate factions, separate people, but both fighting to defend Kryta. Here, let's use Reaper of Grins on this thrall. So if you watch him... He's starting to get poisoned and chilled and things as we go near him, and we can keep this aura for a while.
Everybody else is still fighting inside.
Okay, so we don't actually get to go inside any of the houses, which is funny to me because we know from Divinity's Reach and we know from other areas in the game that these houses do have like interiors the devs can put in them, but they don't let us go into them while they're burning down. I don't think that ever actually happens in Guild Wars. Yeah, I wonder whether it's because the devs decided that it would look too cramped and claustrophobic fighting with the fires burning around. Oh god, so they're actually repeating the dialogue over and over and over again on this one. Yes, I get it. You can defend the the entrance. That's fine, guys. Don't worry. Alright, so we'll take out this Thrall. Let's check out Earth Attunement. I haven't really shown you that just yet. So, for Earth Attunement, you start off with Stone Shards. It's a 900 range. Triple attack, where you throw 3 sets of 3 shards at people. And each time it strikes them, it bleeds them. So look, I've got 11 bleeds. So, Earth is very often bleed heavy. So we're draining his health heavily with bleeding there. So that's the auto. We can just sort of pelt him down with our pebbles there. Or shards, I should say.
Go on ahead. We'll hold this landing against whoever else they send. More undead over here.
Yeah, I see, Hiroki. So there's a plague carrier who just exploded. So we've seen some of them. They're really dangerous undead that blow themselves up. Here's the skill 2. When you touch it for the first time, it gives you a rock barrier. Can you see these barriers here? And what this actually does is makes us a little bit tankier. So we can just hold this now. We can even go to Fire Attunement, and we can fight. And you'll notice I've got those rocks with me. If you look at my active effect bar down here, my buffs, you'll see I've got a rock barrier on me. Envelop yourself in a stony barrier that improves your toughness. And it will it's not infinite duration, but it will last quite a while. So, yeah, we get that. You'll notice that there's 2 active icons there. I'll explain why now, right? Because there's another side to this skill, which is, let's go back to Earth Attunement.
Let's go. I've got your back.
Everybody else is still fighting inside.
Jesus. Yes, guys, it's okay. Here's the other side to it. We're going to come clear these guys out down this ramp now. Once you trigger it, you can actually throw the rocks. You can sacrifice that tankiness to throw the rocks at people, which send like 5 special shards through the air that also all bleed and do damage. So now you can see our bleed's much higher. It's almost 15 bleed just from throwing them out. And that's not too strong on its own. But here's the funny, cool thing, all right? If you have a combo field down, each of those little pebbles that we throw that are from around us that made us tankier, they're all 100% combo finishers. So what does that mean? If I drop this fire field here, and then I throw my things, you see it says burning, 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 burning. All of them are getting set on fire. I'll slow-mo that for you guys. Check that out. Look at that, right? They're all getting set on fire, and they all actually inflict burning on our target as well. So that's just from putting it in a fire field, but if you put it in other fields, they can do other things, right? So that's a really strong combo, as long as you're using it in a field. So now we've got, you know, tons of bleed and burning on someone. If we built condition damage, we could suddenly actually be hitting them really hard on that. The reason why there's 2 icons, just for what it's worth, is this used to be like ammo-based, and you'd have to press the skill 5 separate times to throw the 5 rocks. But they changed that in a very early balance patch, so now they just all throw out at once. But they never updated the user interface after that, so you still get like 2 active effects when really you only need 1. So another really bit of obscure, strange trivia for you all that really we don't need.
Let's go. I've got your back.
Okay, so look at all of our allies now. Look how many Seraphim we've got. They do have our back. They'll keep patrolling around with us. And check this out. These are the Abominations. I think we've seen a couple already attacking the Vigil headquarters. But generally, these are in the big dangerous missions. If you see an Abomination, you got to be scared. The funny thing is, I think these are some of the earliest A-bombs you ever find in Guild Wars 2. And they're actually quite easy to kill. As you saw, I blew that guy up really fast. So yeah, that's Scepter Dagger. That's really our combo. I think I've shown you all the dagger offhands already, right? So you got like Churning Earth. So we could do Churning Earth and in the middle throw our pebbles out. And the Churning Earth does tons of bleeds. The Hell does loads of bleeds. It's kind of cool. You can do interesting little combos. Ow, so that guy hit us really hard. Look, so he's got 16 Frenzy. Every time he lands a hit on someone, he gets bigger and stronger and more dangerous. So we got to kill him quick. Slam him out with the fire grab. And I think this might be one of the last ones here. So that's Triskel K, fairly comfortably defended, actually. And we barely used our utilities. When was the last time I used Glyph of Storms? I really can't remember. It's just there's so many abilities on Ellie I've got to teach you about. And there you go. All right, good. So that's it cleared. It looks like horrible poisoned fish and just nastiness everywhere. But Captain Rendar, reporting for duty.
We were in real trouble until you showed up. Those undead came out of nowhere.
How did the attack start?
First thing I saw was Corporal Kellogg screaming and cursing. Then the undead started swarming and I lost track of him.
Kellogg. You know him? Where is he now?
Do I know him? Sure. Kellogg's assigned to this post, but he's been missing for days. It's not like him to go AWOL. Look, I don't want to get him in trouble. Kellogg is a good soldier and a good man. He probably just overstayed his leave. It's that pirate girl. I don't know why he was looking for her, but I bet she's done something to him.
Pirate girl? What was her name?
I think he said it was Elastia. Found him on Elastia Crow. She's crew of a ship docked southeast of Nebo Terrace.
All right, Captain. We'll get to the bottom of this.
All right, so check it out. Look, you can be a hero and get answers at the same time, Order of Whispers. There's no need for the skullduggery and nastiness. So this place got attacked because this AWOL Seraph guy was actually here. Of all places, he was here. So yeah, tell me a little bit more, Rendar.
Balthazar, strengthen you.
May Balthazar strengthen me? Oh boy, you don't even know the beginning of it. He absolutely has. Thank the 6 gods for the vigil. We'd have been destroyed without your help. Alright, the Seraph you saw among the risen, was he alive or was he undead? He looked alive to me. Wasn't rotten or anything. He just kept mumbling to himself like a madman. You should be safe now. Tell me, do you often see risen here? We occasionally see 1 or 2 washed in from the sea, but this was far more than our militia could handle. I love this idea, guys, that like, up until the start of this story in this year, 1325, like, you'd just find random risen washing up in the waters, and you'd have, like, this association that there were risen in the... Because remember, we lost contact with Alona because of the waters being infested by undead. We lost contact with the Canthans because of waters being infested by the undead. Lion's Arch was destroyed by a tidal wave because of the Kingdom of All rising out of the sea, right? Like, there's this really tight association of the waves with the undead. I really think that's awesome. As I've explained, there's so much, like, nautical water influence stuff here at the core story. I've heard of Triskel Cay was full of pirates. Is that really true? Yeah, we didn't hear anything good about it on the previous video, right? He says, pirate... Oh, you're Captain Thackeray's friend, aren't you? No, no pirates here. Good day to you. Move along. Wait, what is this actually in reference to? Is this something to do with one of the books? I actually can't remember. What? So basically, Thackeray just doesn't like the people here? Oh, wait, or is he saying... He would, there are pirates here, but because we're friends of Thackeray, he won't reveal anything. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe you guys could tell me in the comments. And lastly, can you tell me more about this person? So a pirate influenced Kellogg, who's now AWOL, and this guy thinks he's with the pirate. So who is this? Elastia Crow. Well, she sailed with the crew of the Ravenous. I never met her before. Never met her myself, but I heard she's some kind of mystic. Mystic? What do you mean? Was she a spellcaster? That and more. They say she could see the future. I don't know. I never saw her do it. Oh, God. So she doesn't sound very good. A mystical pirate? And now the guy's missing? And wherever he was, undead are attacking? All right. I'm glad we could be here when you needed us. Goodbye. So there you go. That's Rendar. That's what he thinks. Do any of these Seraphs say anything?
Let's go. I've got your back.
Okay. Oh, look. He actually saluted us. And in the bottom left, you can see it says he salutes us. That's actually a Guild Wars 1E style thing there. Where is... There you are, Hiroki. Those undead nearly destroyed Triskel Cay. We need to find the source of this corruption and rip its heart out. Sorry, I forgot she was a woman for a second there. We'll do the woman voice. If that missing Seraph Kellogg is responsible for these deaths, I swear I'll make him pay. I don't know. Let's just compliment the soldiers. Hiroki, your soldiers fought bravely. I'm impressed. Thank you, Advocate. Each one was mentored and trained at Vigil Keep, the finest military encampment in the world. Oh, we've seen it. It is pretty an amazing place.
May courage guide your hand.
Oh, courage does. What will happen to the people here? They will rebuild, and we'll be here to help. The Vigil will do everything we can for them. The Vigil does a lot more than fight dragons, I see. It's good to know. They will rebuild... oh, wow. Look, broken dialogue here, guys. It's okay. Corteria is totally refined. It's fine. And then what's going on here? Captain Rendar mentioned someone named Elastia Crow. Any idea who that is? She was a pirate and a troublemaker. She used to squeeze money from people by promising to read their futures. Read the future? Could she really do that? I don't know, but I do know that she charged an exorbitant fee. Elastia was the worst kind of parasite. She fed on people's hopes. Sounds like a terrible woman. Come on, let's get back to the others. So she's like a pirate, fortune teller, scammer. Oh, dear. But if she's actually a mystic and actually has magical capability, could she be responsible for some of this? Anyway, they've got to get the fire brigade in here. Let's leave out now. and meet back up in Divinity's Reach, just to recap, make sure everyone knows what's going on. And I guess the hunt is going to turn to this pirate to find out what happened to the Seraph, to see what the hell the connection with these undead are. Doesn't seem to make much sense right now, right, guys? I guess we can change our elite as well. Let's check out the avatar of Melanju in the next instance. Hello, everyone. Zachariah. How is it that civilian like you sees more combat than any 10 soldiers I know? You're making us look bad, my friend. That's simply not possible. You Seraph are the real heroes. Was he involved in one of our stories? Is he an NPC that's unlocked here?
Crow had a rare talent for precognition. I wonder what Kellogg wanted to know.
Whatever it was, I think the information drove him mad. I'm surprised that doesn't happen to more Priory scholars, too.
Clearly, the Order of Whispers has no respect for pure research.
Hello.
Well, so these guys seem to believe that she's genuinely capable of seeing the future.
Advocate, good to see you. How'd your mission go?
We didn't find Kellogg, but we discovered that he's connected to a pirate named Alastia Crow. I want to talk to her and see what she knows.
Talk with her? I'm afraid that's impossible. She's dead. Her pirate ship, the Ravenous, was destroyed by an undead attack 2 days ago.
Huh?
You're sure she's dead? Did any of her crew survive?
Even if she's dead, Alastia was a seer. She might have seen this coming, and left something behind that we could use.
A few of her crew are still alive, camped near the wreckage of their ship. She might have told them more about what's going on.
We need to find out what Kellogg wanted from Alastia. Pirates don't tend to be trusting folk. I think a little nautical infiltration and investigation is in order.
The Order of Whispers are a disreputable, shady bunch. You and the pirates would get along just fine. I have a better suggestion. Even if Alastia Crow is dead, she can still be helpful.
Ooh.
I know an accomplished priestess of Grenth who could summon the pirate spirit.
The Durman Priory's better suggestion is to disturb the dead? You scholars really will turn over every rock to get your answers. Even tombstones.
Hiroki, any suggestions from the Vigil?
None, Advocate. While these two are squirreling for answers, Vigil soldiers will watch for another undead attack.
It's your call, Advocate. Infiltrate the pirates, or summon Alastia's spirit.
Oh my god. I mean, come on guys, listen. We know what it's like being the Order of Whispers infiltrating pirates. We know that. We've experienced that, okay? And it is cool and it is fun, and I'm sure that this would be an interesting side to go as well. But communicating with the undead, actually speaking to the woman herself, that sounds fantastic. Hiroki, are you sure you don't have any plans? Blah, bah, on these library crawlers and sneak thieves. The other orders are wasting time and people are dying. I understand your frustration, but we have to know where to attack. I know, but I don't have to like it. Call on me where you have something. The Vigil will be ready to pitch in as soon as there's some real action. So I think you see the best and the worst of the Vigil here. Like, this is the Vigil at their worst. Come on, too narrow-minded, too one-track. I mean, they're at their best, though, saving people and helping, but they've got to have some respect for a good, proper plan, you know?
I'm on duty.
It's your decision, my friend. I know you'll make the right choice. He seems so hands-off here. Guys, we got to go with the Priory on this one. Come on. The Priory sounded cool before. They sound super cool here. What's it going to be, Casey? You should choose quickly before the situation gets worse. Can you tell me again? The Priory wants to hold a Ritual of Grenth. Ooh, guys, look, we have a ritual. We could become the Reaper of Grins. To speak with the dead seer's spirit. The Order of Whispers plans to infiltrate the pirates and gain information. Josia, can you tell me what the ritual actually involves? Well, Priestess Rai. Priestess Ree. I'm going to go with Priestess Ree, okay? Priestess Ree is greatly favored by Grenth. She can pierce the veil, call Alastia back. It may be dangerous, but we'll learn a great deal. So you may remember when Casey first entered the world, when we were recovering in our bed at Shamor, we met some priests and priestesses. We met the priestess of Dwayna. They talked about, you know, the various people in communion with the gods or whatever. We saw the priest of Balthazar at the very south of the swamp. Well, this is a very high priestess, the priestess of Grenth, greatly favored. Okay, it may be dangerous, but we'll learn a great deal. I'm really curious about that. I'm curious about the gods. Let's see what Ehan says. Tell me more about your plan. How do you intend to infiltrate them? Well, Alastia told her crew everything. The hard part is going to be gaining their trust, but I have a plan. We don't even know if Alastia told her crew everything. Maybe he does because he's Whispers and he's got his fingers in many pies. I'm not interested in that, though. Let's do this one. Very well. I'm ready to choose. Do we want to summon Alastia's spirit? Direct information is best. I'm going to work with you to summon Alastia's spirit. Reaching out to the dead will give us the most information. Meet me by Hezran Outcrop, and we'll get started. Thanks, Josir. I'll see you there. And we get our reward. This time, a new helmet. We're going to change our gear very soon as well, guys. We've been in our noble gear for quite a while. And yeah, it looks like that. Meet Josir and his contact quite far away now. So, you'll notice we're starting to deal with the interactions of humans. I should say people. Humans and pirates. And what does that mean? Well, it means we are starting to move out of Crichton territory and towards Lion's Arch now. So I guess the closest waypoint we actually have to this is Beetleton, this scoundrel's place ran by Lord Cordicus, who we're mightily suspicious of, with his manor over there, set to host a party in just a few short days. But let's go out this way, and we're going to now go through a portal towards Gendaran that we haven't actually traversed just yet, I don't think. Maybe we dipped in and out of it for a moment? No, it doesn't look like we did. I think I was tempted to last time I was here in this area of the world. Here, by the way, you remember I was telling you about Dailies? Sometimes it's daily Crichton, like, food gatherer. And a great thing to do is to come here to this field and just steal this farmer's lettuce. I know that might seem a bit dickish, but it genuinely is a very, very easy way of getting your daily done. Lettuce isn't really worth anything right now with the way that chefing is and whatnot, but you get the daily and then you can get the added rewards on top of that. Of course, other players who have unlocked a ton of stuff in their home instances may as well just utilize that nonetheless. But yeah. So you remember how the God's Lost Swamp was a meta event? This area also is a meta event. We're at the Battle for Beetleton here. Now, interesting bit of trivia that I'm not actually 100% verified on anymore, but I'm pretty sure is correct. By the way, you'll notice there's an enemy up above us. There's an ooze in there. This is what I want to show you guys in this area of the world. I believe, pre-release, this meta actually ended up having the centaurs attacking Beetleton itself, but that event doesn't run anymore. Or I haven't seen it for years and years and years, and I'm not sure whether it's because the devs cut it out or what. But yeah, we're basically in range of a pretty interesting meta. Also, another fun thing, one of my favorite things about Queensdale here is you see these pipes that have been working their way through the hills. If you actually sneak along carefully enough, you will actually find you can go inside the pipes and you can fight your way through about 1 billion ooze. And if we go all the way through here, they're evading right now. They're actually really dangerous. As you can see, we're taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to use churning earth and knock them down and stuff. If we worm our way all the way through, killing ooze as we go, we will eventually come out at a lake that we were looking at a while ago. But yeah, it's I love the small little interior places like that in the game. And yeah, I just wanted to show it off. I was really close to it in a previous episode, forgot to show it off, and I thought, no, I must do that at some point. So there you go. There's like another windmill waterwork looking structure there. There's actually where we're going to that portal out over in that direction. But I'll show you as well, there is a meta event here with centaurs attacking a bull that is trying to escort a caravan.
Testing our fortitude.
Praise the six, you're being killed by centaurs. Jesus Christ, these humans. Yeah, these guys are actually trying to escort supplies all the way over to Beetleton. What do we get here? So, tiny supply bag, soft longbow, apprentice pants, loads of loot from that. And yeah, we could just follow that along. They'll continue escorting that as time goes by. But we're more interested in going through that portal over there. So let's do it, and then we'll look at the Avatar of Melandru and whatnot as we go. You also notice, by the way, we got a ton of progress on our heart in this area too, which basically covers a really broad region, this entire area here. There's this area, Salma's Heath. Salma, if you remember, we learnt about in the Dermond Priory library just 2 days ago, I think it was, where we heard that once upon that all royals come from a guy called King Doric. And at one point, it felt like the line had been broken here in Crichton. No one knew if there was a living heir left. But one living heir was found among the common people, a woman named Salma. And we reinstated her to the throne. That was a Guild Wars story. And yeah, this area of the world is actually named after her. She also has a fort named after her. All right, what's going on here? Brant? Whichever way you're headed, north or south, be prepared to run into centaurs. Are you a traveller? Not really. I'm here on a commission to see any improvements can be made to the building structure to fortify against future centaur attacks. I'll let you get to work then.
It's a soldier's life for me.
Is it? Frayne says, what can I help you with? Tell me about this place. Years ago, it was a popular festival spot with a stage, places for tents and stands, and the battle pit. People travelled from as far as Lion's Arch for the seasonal festivities. What happened? Well, centaurs appeared almost overnight. By the time we Seraph got here, they'd established a full camp just outside the Stone Guard's door. We turned this grounds into a fortress to keep them from pushing further north. Are there any festivals here? Not really. The battle pit gets used sometimes, but it's usually too dangerous. And those bitter Ascalon Settlement oafs refuse to come near the place now because the Seraph are here. So the crowds are dwindling. Wow. So, yes, there is a settlement of Ascalonian refugees. Again, in Guild Wars 1, when the Ascalonians originally fled from the Char across the mountains, they came to Kryta. Divinity's Reach didn't exist yet, though. So Rurikton didn't exist yet, which is where many other Ascalonian refugees are, remember? So instead of settling here, because the city didn't exist, they actually settled in this area of Kryta, a place called the Ascalon Settlement. And, in fact, those are our kinsmen from the first game, if you played an Ascalonian from the very original campaign. And they still live here. They don't particularly like the Seraph. They're very independent. We may go to that settlement before long. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate place if festivals used to be around here. There is the battle pit itself. Pretty nice place. Might not be the last we've seen of this. Who knows? So let's go towards our quest, I guess, which is north, which is towards where the centaurs were. Isn't that just fantastic? Got more wargs. You'll notice that the level of the enemies has suddenly gone up massively. This warg is level 28. We are only level 31. So these guys might actually really genuinely hurt us if we're not careful. Luckily, we've got good gear and we've got lots of skills and we're doing fairly comfortably. I kind of want to give us another specialization too. That cave has a hero challenge in it. Let's go do that, actually. Let's take a quick detour. I spent so little time in open worlds. And yet, I do enjoy running around open world. Remember, most oh, God. Oh, my God. That is not what I intended to do. Okay, I guess we'll just flee. We're going to go over to this waterfall here, avoiding these trolls and more ooze. And you'll see that there's an ooze analyzer guarded by a veteran. I'm going to drop an earth storm, which will blind and bleed him. Plus the churning earth is going to be even more bleeds. Plus the scepter stuff. Yeah, it should be pretty good. And now we can blow him up. We want to dodge that because he'll knock us back on that. So you can see the red ring. Okay, good. Down he goes. So, greetings. Look, it's an Asura device here in Kryta. Very strange. May I interest you in a flagon of my ooze-based beverage? Certainly. So, this is a type of hero challenge. Don't think we've done any of these yet. But they'll be like guarded or in some remote or obscure area of the world. You find whatever it is and they'll give you an item. So, this is a potion. Look. There's a faint whiff of something strange and powerfully concentrated. Drink this at your own risk. So, we can drink it. Look, it turns us into an ooze. It turns us into an ooze. So we can't jump or do anything here. Our entire skills have been locked off. And all we can do is click this button to return. But that's okay because, look, we're about to start. We can actually return. Kill this warg here. And we're about to start our mission here. So that's fine. Yeah, that's basically a tonic, guys. That's one of several ways you can transform your character in the game. There are tons of tonics, and I intend to show you more as we go forwards. But okay. Whew. So what do we got here? It's night, it's dark, it's a bit scary. We've come to a very remote area where the centaurs have set up camp. These are the centaurs that stop the festivals being ran here near Beetleton. And you'll notice, actually, it's kind of interesting. Cordicus funds festivals. Maybe he used to fund the festivals here, but because the centaurs moved in, he can't anymore. So now he funds them over at the giant thing that we saw here. Or host his own parties. Kind of curious that he can also live so comfortably and happily right next to the centaurs, right? So, yeah, look at that scary-ass white skull up there. We're looking for the priestess. Ah, here we go. Here's Josie. Here's Why have we come to such a horrible, scary place, guys? Jesus. Let's have a good reason for this.
Hello, Josie. This must be Priestess Rai. A pleasure to meet you.
Welcome, Advocate. This will be a rare opportunity to peer beyond the shroud of death. I'll be taking notes for my records.
Notes? So you don't do this kind of thing often in the Durman Priory?
The Priory does a great deal of research on magic, from the arcane to the divine. But this is an extremely difficult ritual. I'm tremendously excited to be allowed to participate. My notes may help others in the Priory investigate ancient tombs dedicated to Grenth.
I'm looking forward to it. Priestess Rai, are we ready to begin?
We are.
In a moment, I will pierce the veil between this world and the mists, and call to Alastia Crow's spirit. Be warned, she'll need time to respond. During this time, anything could cross through the portal. We may be faced with something unfriendly. Protect me while I maintain the channel, or the gate will close and all will be lost.
Understood. We'll be ready for anything.
May the Dark One bless our endeavors. Let it begin. Follow me to the heart of these caverns, where the barrier to the mists is thinnest.
Oh god, okay, so if there was ever a question that the gods were still listening, we're about to find the answer.
It should be safe enough to cast the ritual here. Even centaurs would avoid this fetid air. This place is the dumping ground for the centaurs' fallen slaves. Gods, it's horrible.
Yeah, it is pretty nasty. I guess that's why we came here. Grenth's breath, I hope Alastia knows something useful. This ritual is difficult. Okay. Yeah, look, all the bones and just nasty, gory stuff. Does Ree have anything to say? Oh, she has a ton. Excuse me, I'm running through the ritual in my head one last time. There's no room for error, you know. Can you tell me more about the 6 gods? Once, the 6 gods of the humans were very influential. As time passed, they pulled away, but they have not abandoned us.
This ritual weakens the barriers between worlds. Dark things may emerge.
You can safely focus on the ritual, Priestess. My friend and I will protect you.
Grenth, Prince of Winter, hear your servant's plea. Open the gates to the mists. The living call upon the dead. In Grenth's name, Alastia Crow, seer of wily scavengers, pirate and oracle, I call your spirit to commune. Appear and speak.
Damn it, do we get that dialogue? I hope we do by the end of the instance. We might miss that window there because she might be forcing a conversation now. We might not be able to speak to her. Here we go, I guess it's kicking off. They're not giving us any time to relax on this one. So let's see what we got.
Portals. Interesting. I must maintain them all, else the ritual fails. Stand ready.
I'm standing ready. Oh no, here we go. We can get it. So I'm going to try and do this while we're being attacked. So she says that the human gods were very influential once upon a time, but now they've receded. We could say, where have they gone? She says, no one knows. Not into the mist, that's for certain. Perhaps they simply want us to allow us to decide our own fates. Oh my god, we're getting knocked back. So the enemies here are really interesting. They're actually at K and Shades and things that we saw in Guild Wars 1 when we went to the underworld. Very interesting. You're a priestess of Grenth? What does that mean? Grenth is the god of death and ice. He's the son of Dwayna, but he became a god by his own hand. So this was new Guild Wars 2 lore, that he's the son of Dwayna. That's really exciting, right? He became a god by his own hand. We, of course, know as Guild Wars 1 players that there was an old god of death named Doom. Sorry, Josiah over there, who Grenth actually ended up replacing. Very interesting. And you serve him? I'm his foremost priestess. I work with the Priory. One day I hope to purify his ancient temple in awe. Wow, you're quite ambitious. Can I ask another question? Wow, that is a crazy ambition, right, guys? Okay, I'm interested in knowing more about this ritual. We will open portals into the land of the dead, she says, and ask Grenth to send Alastia Crow's spirit to us. Josie said it might be dangerous. How so? Well, open portals are like beacons of light in the mists. Other entities may try to escape the lands of death, and we must prevent that. Okay, so that does sound dangerous. I'll leave you to your preparations. Yeah, now we can't speak to her. Maybe we could have got that dialogue at the end there, but if we missed it, I didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to show you guys some rare stuff. So Josie, what a boss. He's been fighting valiantly. Let's throw a water trident at him to heal him up. And because we're on dagger offhand now as well, we can use the 5 to heal him too. Let's drop some blinds on these shades. And yeah, it's our job to just basically defend Priestess Ree as the portal opens up. I love this story instance, guys. It's one of my favorite human story instances that exists. And it's seated in the middle of an arc that I'm generally not that favored towards. As I mentioned at the start of when we began doing this bit. Oh god, they really hurt. So we've got to kill these shades. No particularly dangerous underworld creatures have come out just yet. Shades we have actually seen in God's Lost Swamp as well, where the Shadow Behemoth is breaking through the underworld. Another place close between the two areas. Look at this. I guess they came in early and set up all these candles for us, right?
Be ready. I fear the danger is far from over.
Yeah, dude, you need to heal up. Look at him. He's so low right now. He doesn't seem to be able to break combat either. Let's drop a firestorm. And yeah, let's call on the gods ourselves, shall we? Here's another one of the gods, Melandru. So let's use Avatar of Melandru. Transform into an Avatar of Melandru. So with this, we gain stability, which means we can't be CC'd anymore. And we get a whole selection of different abilities. We turn into a transformer, a bit like when we were in Ooze a second ago. So we get the auto Oak Heart Swipe, We get skill 2, Cleansing Leaves. We shake and remove conditions from nearby allies and ourselves, as you can see there. We get the skill 3, Roar of the Forest, and then the transform turned off. So you get tons of skills, but very little time to use them. So we'll go into that quite a few times to show you everything. But yeah, as most of the racial skills, it's not actually that good, that one, but I did want to show it.
Observe us. Something powerful approaching. Be careful.
Oh god, here it is. Okay, so this is a lesser... Ow, I'm going to have to stun break there. This is a lesser bladed Ak-K. Anyone who played Guild Wars 1 and spent a lot of time in the underworld is more than familiar with these creatures. I have to evade that. This guy, I love the fact that he's listed as only lesser. There are very few Ak-K in Guild Wars 2. Very, very, very few. But we know that they're deadly and dangerous. This was elite end game content in the first game where you'd fight them. So the first one we see in Guild Wars 2 is really dangerous, and he's only listed as a lesser one.
Praise Grenth. I sense the spirit we seek. Come, Alastia Crow. Speak with us.
There she is. Oh, everybody's bowing. Should we bow as well? Alastia, your holiness. I mean, okay, so let's just remind ourselves. She's a horrible mystic pirate lady that was on a ship that got attacked by undead and sank. So, what's the full story here? We have to know. Alastia, we beseech to you.
Speak, spirit of Alastia Crow. Grenth, god of death, compels you. Tell me of Kelak, the Seraph. Why did he come to you? Did he kill you?
He cheated me. Revenge. I wanted revenge. He sought power to protect his queen. So I made that his undoing. Our crew plundered an Orion ship. One of the treasures we found aboard was cursed.
Orion artifacts. Incredibly dangerous. The Priory. Yes, I'm sorry, Priestess Rye. Of course, later.
Speak on, spirit. How did you seek revenge?
Kelek took the items. He wanted to find a way to protect Kryta from Zaitan. I knew he would only become corrupted. I thought that would be the end of it. But Kelek tracked me down aboard my ship. He demanded that I remove the curse. I could not. He was slaughtering my crew. I had to stop him. So I lied. With my dying breath, I told him that the only way to remove the corruption is to bathe in royal blood.
By Cormyr's hand, how could you do that? He'll go after Queen Jennah.
What do I care? The Queen did nothing to help my starving crew, or save us when risen ships attacked us on the high sea. My vengeance will be complete when Kelek destroys that which he was once sworn to defend.
Begone, foul, vicious spirit. Alastia Crow, I release you into the arms of Grenth. Go and beg mercy from the Prince of Frost and Ice.
Thank you, Priestess. Come on, Josiah. We have to alert Captain Thackeray right away.
Well, damn. And she's leaving now. Jesus Christ. Brilliant. So, she's still down on the ground. Josiah says, Queen Jennah's in danger? What do we do? This is terrible. Calm down, Josiah. We have to think rationally. The first thing we have to do is tell Logan so that he can protect the Queen. You're right. We must tell Captain Thackeray at once. I'll meet you back at Divinity's Reach. And, is Ree saying anything? No, she's not. Good. We bumbled our way through that dialogue in the middle of the fight. And it was good because that was our only opportunity to get it. And isn't Alastia supposed to be going now? I guess we can speak to her. I know of you here. Oh, God, she knows of us? Many of your foes now walk in the mist. Dear son, they speak of you with hatred and fear. Beware lest you join them. Oh. So yeah, death is not like this hard and fast boundary interior, as you guys are now starting to see. There are the mists that lie beyond. There are afterlives. What exactly happens, how that changes based on your race and stuff is obscure and strange and difficult to appreciate. And that's kind of the magic of the franchise, really. So damn, not for a while yet, pirate. I'm too charming for Lissa to let me go. Nice. Is that one about Balthazar? No, Lissa's not going to let me go. You should know that even mighty Lissa's power must bow in Grenth's domain. Good luck, charming hero. Thank you, Shade. May you find peace. We can also say, what actually happened to your ship, the Ravenous? After he'd become corrupted, Kellock returned to demand that I cure... So let's go way back. So basically, you got this guy, Kellock. He's a member of the Seraph. He's a good soldier. He interacts with Alastia, and he cheats her somehow. We don't know what that cheating was. Perhaps if we did the other path, we would find that out. He cheats her. She gets annoyed, and she curses him with an Orion artifact that pirate crew had once upon a time found, okay? So then, now he's cursed, he's corrupted. After he became corrupted, Kellock returned to demand that I cure him. This must have been like 2 days ago after he'd left from Triskel Cay, right? Zaitan's scum followed him to our portage. So because he's cursed, undead are attracted to him. They're flowing to him. So that's how you died? Me and my most every other sea rat aboard, I hear a few got out, and good for them. May they sail free. So that's the other group that the Order of Whispers would try to get the information from. Okay, so the ship sinks, she dies, most of the crew dies, Kellock is still left to wander, and he's now under the impression that the only way to get the undead off of him and to free himself from this curse is to bathe in royal blood, which, yeah, means freaking Jennah. That's insane. Okay, so that's the full story. That's what's behind the attacks. He was posted to the swamp as well. He's endangered children. He's endangered fishermen. And now he's endangering the queen. So I mentioned a bit back that I'm not a big fan of this story step. And I almost was going to put this into a bonus thing. Because I don't like how it eventually just boils down to, oh, the main city's under attack again. Which so often the domestic stories or the personal story tend to do. I think that this would have worked really well without trying to shoehorn that in at the end. But hey, also, obviously, it's dealing with the orders that... We already know this information quite well now, who the orders are and what's going on. So I figured some of you might not want to see it all again. But in the end, let's just do it all in one big series, right?
Can't allow anything to happen to Queen Jennah. She's the last of the royal line.
Perhaps not the last, but you're right. Without Queen Jennah, we'd lose our treaty with the Char.
More than that. Without Queen Jennah, the nation will lose hope. It would be the end of Kryta.
Yeah, we are the last bastion. That's kind of important that she doesn't die. Logan, what's up, man? By the way, right there we heard the Order of Whispers hinting that Jennah might not be the only inheritor to the throne right now. Perhaps not the last. There are some very minor hints around Corteria dealing with that. So remember that little line. We'll come back to it later. Hi. I guess we just want to speak to these guys first. So the big choice is coming, guys.
Captain Thackeray, I'm glad you're here. We've got an urgent situation. Kellock's been corrupted by Orion artifacts. The pirate Alastia told him that the Queen's blood will cure the corruption.
Dwayne's mercy. I have to protect the Queen. We can't let him near her.
I think the undead are following him because he has the artifact. As long as he's out there, they'll be right on his heels.
We don't have much time. The undead mob he's leading is just getting bigger. Kellock's growing more dangerous by the second.
We can't just think of the Queen. We have to think of Kryta. If we just defend her, Logan, Kellock will destroy every town from Lion's Arch to Divinity's Reach.
You're right. Damn it. When it comes to my duty to the Queen... Well, never mind. I'm listening. What's the plan?
It's time to assault Kellock head-on. In the Vigil, we swear an oath to stand between the darkness and the light. The only way to be sure is to face this threat directly. Advocate, join us. You'd make a fine member of the Vigil, and I'd be proud to fight by your side.
Don't be thick-headed, Hiroki. Knowledge is power. The Durman Priory's research is conclusive. The Advocate would be much better suited among our scholars. Come, Advocate. We can use the Mortis Verge enchantment to protect the Queen, and neutralize this threat intelligently.
Kellock has two things on his side. An army of undead, and complete insanity. We have to use cunning, lure him in, and then trick him into destroying himself. The Order of Whispers wants you on our side, Advocate. All you have to do is say the word.
All right, everyone. Give me a moment to discuss my options with Captain Thackeray. Then I'll let you know how I'm going to proceed.
So, something you guys should know about this. I usually hold my tongue on moments like this, but I really feel I have to here. Another reason I don't really like this arc is, what have we got at the moment? We've got Kellock, who's potentially somewhere around Lion's Arch, is now coming to attack Divinity's Reach. Obviously isn't inside the city, because there's not a giant risen Zaitan attack on the city right now. So, for these three options, they make it sound like, you know, the Vigil are going to just charge at him and kill him somewhere out in the fields. These guys have got a weird plan to turn his stuff back on him. These guys are going to actually defend the Queen herself, thus allowing Kellock to come all the way in. You might think, oh, those are really 3 distinct cool choices. The truth is, though, all 3 of these instances, all will happen in the throne room. And I think it's pretty clear that the devs ran out of time to actually develop any, like, interesting different things. So they all just, like, hope you'll suspend your disbelief and magically assume somehow Kellic got into the city and somehow massive quantities of Risen get into the city as well. Completely through Shaymore, completely through all the garrisons. They're just there. And, like, the story will never deal with the ramifications of Fallout or anything of that. And it's just so hard to swallow. So in order to make that feel a little bit more cohesive, I am going to go with the Priory plan. Not just because I want to see Priory. I think Priory have been really cool. They got the Mortis Verge, which we never saw before because we chose against them, so I kind of want to see how that goes. But also, this is the only instance that actually story-wise makes sense that Kellic is allowed into the city, because at this choice here is the one of actually defending Jennah. So if you play this, it really kind of breaks down a lot, and it all falls apart here. This is one of the reasons I really think this is one of the lowest points of the entire personal story, for so many different reasons. But we're gonna go obviously with Priory, and all of this is going on. The devs are like wrestling to make a cohesive story here, while also trying to make this a broad, long-term decision about which order you join. It's just a mess. But hey, so Logan,
good to see you.
He says, Advocate, all 3 orders have petitioned for you to join them. It's a permanent choice, but you'll gain a powerful ally. What do you think about it, Logan? Well, he says, you've been a boon to Kryta. You can do more than with one of the orders. You should seize this opportunity. What do you think about the Vigil? They're straightforward, honorable, militant. I appreciate that, and I like their concern for the common man. What do you think about the Priory? Well, I have no use for libraries, but exploring sounds fun, and discovering lost knowledge. I'd like discovering lost knowledge in history. And lastly, what do you think about the Order of Whispers? Well, they claim to be master manipulators, hiding in the shadows. They certainly know a lot of secrets. That could be useful. I genuinely think he likes the Vigil most, the Priory a little bit, and not the Order of Whispers at all. So talk to the representative of the Order you prefer and choose their plan. Do you think they'll mind if I ask a few questions? Well, they won't mind. They're all waiting for you to decide, so go ahead and ask, but choose quickly. We have to go protect the Queen. Yeah, and like, having this big long conversation and making us decide while there's supposed to be urgency of a Queen attack, it doesn't work. It's just that they've set up like a formula for how the game is supposed to handle personal story instances. And then, like, the dialogue doesn't even, what do you mean ask them questions? They haven't input any questions we can ask. It's really crazy, guys. All right, look, so Logan, I'm ready to join an order. Oh, okay, so now we can ask questions. Fine. I hope you join the Priory. Your intelligence will be instrumental in our crusade against the dragons. Remember, this is a permanent decision. Can you tell me a little bit more about them? I think this is the same... No, maybe not. We search for ancient lore in an effort to deal with the dragons. What would I be doing? Well, you'd be exploring old dwarven sites, studying the lesser races, discovering new magical phenomenon, exciting things. Okay, so that's the Priory. I guess we'll just... no, let's see what the others say. Ehan, what do you say? Can you tell me about the Order of Whispers? We subtly influence the world. What would the Whispers have me do? Freeing political prisoners, influencing major events. You'll travel Tyria, see a lot of its darker side. And Hiroki, the Vigil has a place for you, hero. You're brave, stalwart, compassionate, everything we need look for in a recruit. Remember, this is a permanent decision. What would I do with the Vigil? Well, we're a multiracial army drawn from all walks of life. We put our lives on the line for Tyria to defend it from the dragon. What would the Vigil give me? Assisting with treaty negotiations, defending villages from minions of the dragon, helping people displaced by dragon attacks, that sort of thing. Guys, it's got to be the Priory. Let's look at the thing. First, we need to stop Kellic. So what do I want here? A new staff sounds cool, but it's not actually as good as our old one, so we'll just leave that for a second. And Logan has no thoughts for us. There you have it. Casey is going to be joining the Dermond Priory. Let's head on upstairs, back through the palace gardens, with everything at peace. But don't worry, guys. Apparently, there's an attack right under our nose here. Straight up. Luckily, we're really close to the throne as well, actually, when we play as... Oh, by the way, this instance, I'm not sure whether we'll get our regular skills. So let me just show you the last of the Avatar of Melandru. So we get Roar of the Forest. I can't zoom in very far, interestingly, on the skills. So you give protection on a massive cast time. It's like, generally, this is one of the worst racial skills in the game, actually. Summon Healing Spring, slam your fist in the ground, creating a healing spring that heals allies. And lastly, you get Binding Roots. This skill's actually kind of cool. It sends up roots that immobilize everyone around you. And there you go. That's the Avatar of Melandru. You get barely any time to use the skills. Each skill takes ages to cast and does barely anything. It's like, it's really in need of some TLC, but the devs won't do it because... they don't want racial skills to be good. Yeah. All right, the Queen's Justice. Jennah, we're going to use the Mortis Verge to defend you. And, yeah, nothing to be scared of, but be aware. So here we get Shining Blade defending her.
May Grenth shield you.
As we know, the Shining Blade, the protectors of the throne, so that makes a lot of sense that they're here. I really like that. We got Josiah here. We have Anise. Anise, are you going to be fighting alongside us? She says, the Shining Blade guards the Queen of Kryta. Nothing that comes through that door will touch her, I swear it. Are the Shining Blade part of the Seraph or the Ministry? The Shining Blade served the personal guard to the throne. For generations, we protected and advised the rulers of Kryta. Countess Anise, you can fight? Fight! Darling, I devastate. If any of Kellogg's minions approach my queen, I assure you, you'll see exactly what I'm capable of. I love this dialogue. She'll devastate. Anise, you badass. Come here. Logan says, Jennah's in danger. Stay alert, and if you have an extra moment, be sure to pray. May Lissa keep her safe. You really love her, don't you? It's that obvious, huh? Yes, I do. I would gladly give my life for her. She's everything to me. So, you've heard the rumors at the start and the end of these videos that he pines for the queen, and yeah, he's pretty blunt about it here. She means more to you than Kryta, we ask? He says, even on my darkest days, her smile gives me hope. If there's purpose in my life, it's to keep her safe. She is Kryta in my eyes. I hope everything works out for the two of you, Logan. Good luck. Wow, like, this is the most smitten you ever hear he gets. Here's the queen's cap, by the way, Shadow. There's like trivia later in the game, I think, that ensures you know this. But yeah, Shadow is her cat, a fat tabby cat. And finally, Jennah herself. You realize this man is utterly in love with you, right? I stand to do my part for Kryta. May the 6 gods watch over us all. Your Majesty, have you been updated on everything that's happened so far? Logan told me the tale advocate. Poor Kellock. My heart breaks for that young seraph. Yeah, I mean, he seemed like a good guy, right? Like, maybe dealing with pirates and he cheated her somehow, but all he cared about most was defending the crown and the queen and Kryta, and this is what he gets. Agreed, Your Majesty. Can I ask another question? You might be in danger. Are you sure you want to stay here? Quite sure. The Shining Blade will protect me while you and Logan handle Kellock. I fully understand my part. The Shining Blade? You mean Countess Anise and her friends? Just so. Anise has been my guardian since childhood, and the Blade are excellent defenders. I am safer here than in the Ministry. So, you might think so. You might scratch your head here. This is not bad writing. They're hinting at something here. You might scratch your head. Anise has been her guardian since childhood. This is what Jennah looks like. This is what Anise looks like. Don't they look about the same age? How has Anise been her guardian since childhood? Huh. I'm glad you're keeping your spirits up, Your Majesty. Excuse me. Captain Thackeray's very worried about you, Your Majesty. Logan? Oh, he mustn't worry. Please, tell him I'll be fine. He's standing right there. If he is distracted and gets hurt, I don't know what I would do. If I may be so bold, ma'am, the two of you seem to care about one another very much. I don't know whether the two of them care very much. Logan cares very much. What has she shown towards him? He is like an angel sent from Dwayna to be at my side. If things were different, or if Kryta were at peace, then perhaps... Oh, there you go. Look, she gives a little bit of a hint there. God, stringing him along. I've never seen so many guards in the throne room, Your Majesty. It feels strange. It is odd, isn't it? My father had more, as you may remember, but when I took the throne, I wanted people to feel comfortable in my presence. Here, so we hear very little about the king before her. But here there's a suggestion that the player character... Our player character, our toon, if you play a human, guys, the law is that your human probably knew the prior king. It's kind of amazing, right? It worked. The people of Kryta trust you. May I ask another question? Well, no. There you go. That's it. I hope the gods listen to your prayers, Your Majesty. Excuse me while I prepare. Look at this. Oof. Of course, all that dialogue we just got, you could easily accidentally miss by speaking to Joseph first, who is in the more prominent location in the room, but fine.
Welcome, novice. Today you are a proud member of the Durman Priory. Congratulations.
I'm looking forward to it, Josiah. Thank you. So what's our plan?
The Mortis Verge. It's done extremely well in field tests against the undead. With this, we should be able to protect Queen Jennah and contain the undead threat.
And by contain, you mean destroy, right, Josiah?
What? Oh, yes. At that point, it should be a simple matter to mop up the risk.
I hope so. Kellock's been sighted near the palace grounds. We should know his location any minute now.
All right. God, they've really built this up. This is pretty intense, right? So the Mortis Verge, they were using this to defend things, right?
Too much has been forgotten.
So previously when the Mortis Verge was at play, we never got to actually use it. We never did that instance anyway, but if you'd gone with the Priory to save the children in the swamp, you wouldn't actually get to use it. But here, Joseph says, Novice, I want you to wield the Mortis Verge in battle against Kellock. You've been instrumental in our efforts to stop him. What can you tell me about it? It's a conduit of life energy drawn upon your life force to burn the undead. This draw is literal. You mean it could kill me? It would absolutely kill you if not for the fact it can replenish your life force by stealing it from foes. So this is an interesting mechanic. The only place in Guild Wars that I remember, really, I mean, Necromancers maybe sort of get a bit of this, but this is essentially you kill yourself using the skills, your life force. So it's kind of amazing, like sacrificial abilities. Sounds exciting and dangerous. I'm ready. So we do get our utilities, that's fine. So we get 5 skills here. You'll notice all the different profession skills are... This is like a Necro icon. This is an Ellie one. This is Guardian, Ellie again. So we get all these different abilities. You get Essence Bolt. Draw upon your life force to launch a bolt and do damage. You can siphon health from them. Teleport to your foe and blind them. Though this doesn't actually blind, it burns, because skill balance over the years has changed the skill. But because this is personal story and they've never gone back and looked at it and updated it, now the text is off. That's a stun break as well. You got Life Storm. Hurl a flurry of essence bolts at your target, expanding a great deal of life. Or shield ourselves by expending life force. So yeah, these are our skills. I guess I could actually show you. So... There's one. We get kind of crazy, weird-looking abilities. This one here. And notice how we're killing ourselves. And then the shield. And then we can heal ourselves with our regular stuff as well there. So good. Let's go back to the Reaper of Grenth. Okay, actually, let's use our last one. Okay, the Hounds of Balthazar. Very simple. Summon 2 Hounds of Balthazar to fight at your side. And we can summon those as we do battle. And obviously, we are Balthazar blessed, guys. So this is by far the best ability that you get. As a racial elite. I'm honored to have such dedicated protectors. Josiah informed me that this Mortis Verge will protect me from Kellock. Please be still, your majesty. This enchantment will only take a moment. So we're going to enchant her to protect her. So now she's got that bubble over her. The bubble itself is this amazing wellspring of cool trivia too. Oh, there's Kellock! So he's going to come at her. Oh, God.
Your majesty, Queen Jennah. Listen to me. Let me close. I won't hurt you. I just need your blood. This is for Kryta. For Kryta!
Corporal Kellock, stand down. You're not thinking clearly. Drop your weapons and surrender. Do not approach the Queen.
No. I need her blood. Royal blood. Don't you understand? It can cure the corruption. Make us all free.
It's not true. Alastia Crow lied to you, Kellock. She did this just to endanger the Queen.
No. No, you're wrong. There has to be a way. Tell me!
There is no way to cure dragon corruption. If there were, I would gladly give my life to ensure Kryta's future.
You're a liar. No. No, this can't be the truth. I'll kill you all!
Quickly, Josiah. Now, shield the Queen.
So he seems to believe he could cure all Risen, which would be amazing. So there you go. They go and attack. I'm going to just make sure none of them get close to the Queen here, and we're going to talk about some cool trivia. So we'll kill that guy. Yeah. Oh, what's this here? Spirit Axe. We wield the power of the Spirit Axe? What? I'm not sure what this is. This is obviously some dead old mechanic that's no longer a thing. Kellock over there, champion creature. He's fighting the Shining Blades. So yeah, we'll have to make sure that the Shining Blade don't die too quickly. So yeah, he seems to think he can cure everyone. This is a really interesting story step because Kellock kind of shows a kind of dragon corruption that you don't really get much of. If you become a Risen, if you're corrupted by Zaitan, you are completely brain dead. He's got a little bit of his brain left from that artifact, but the game never really discusses any deeper how that is so. But he seems to think of his other Risen as being kindred spirits almost, right? So let's kill them there. So Kellock's going to keep fighting away. Let's go look at the Queen. Now, I really want to show this. So she's got this bubble over her. And you'll see she's got two effects on her. One is called Arcane Shield. Now, as an Elementalist... Hold on, let's kill this guy. I really want to show you guys this. As an Elementalist, when we go to our things, you see we've got these Arcane Skills. So this is one of our type of utilities. There's Arcane Brilliance, there's Arcane Blast, Arcane Power, and Arcane Shield. I'll train that. We'll look at these in the next episode, okay? So Arcane Shield is an ability we can use. It blocks attacks, and so on. So that's kind of cool. Now, what you might not know is in Guild Wars 1... So basically, Elementalist has Fire, Air, Earth, Water, Arcane. In Guild Wars 1, Elementalist also existed. And in Guild Wars 1, it was Fire, Air, Earth, Water. But instead of Arcane back then, it was called Energy. And I believe, interestingly, the trivia, when Guild Wars 2 was being created, it also was going to be Energy. in both games. Fireworth, not Arcane. Arcane didn't exist. It was Energy. Way back when we first saw the earliest demos and convention footage of Guild Wars 2, they actually had a mana mechanic, energy. Just like you'd find in other RPGs where you spend mana to use spells and then you have to replenish it with mana potions and stuff. And I believe that, which was a Guild Wars 1 mechanic as well, I believe that way back in the earliest implementations, that was what was going on. When they designed this personal story instance, that was what was going on. And so when we look at Jennah here, you notice she's got Arcane Shield, but she also has one called Energy Shield. Same icon, Energy Shield. And if you read it, it says surround yourself with an energy shield that stops half of incoming damage but drains your energy when hit. So basically what I'm saying is this content is so old and so unupdated at this point that you can still see pre-release mechanics by sneakily mousing over the right tooltips. This is clearly what the original Arcane Shield was going to be. And you could find this effect on the children in the swamp as well way back when. And so, yeah, it's sneaky here in the earliest personal story stuff for the human stuff, early development. Clearly, I think that, basically Elementalist was going to have energy skills, not arcane skills. And this is what it originally was going to be. It would half your damage, but it would cost you energy. But energy and mana isn't a mechanic at all in the game anymore, so they changed it all. So, yeah, really cool trivia. I love that little insight there. Now let's look at what's happened. It looks like Kellic has won his fight. The Risen are just standing around and they're not even going to attack the Queen. Shh, guys, it's fine. These are real stories and it's real, really difficult and there's a real threat here, I promise. Okay, so here we go. Hounds of Balthazar, baby. Let's get them out. They'll help us out quite a lot. The skill 2 is going to regenerate our health and we're going to have to blow these enemies up. You notice we don't actually have an attunement right now, so I wonder what happens when we cast our glyph. Oh, it just fails. That's amazing. So this is also one of the really rare instances in Guild Wars 2 where you have no attunement whatsoever and a ton of your Ellie skills are just going to fail completely. That's amazing. We have no attunement. It's completely removed it. That's so cool. And yet we can use the glyphs anyway. So, oh, guys, so much cool trivia. This is what I live for, guys. So there we'll use this skill. We do a ton of damage. I am actually really hurting here. We have to use the life force to get our health back. And one more attack on Kellic. Sorry, Kellic. Ow, he interrupted us in the middle. Brilliant. Let's do it again. Down he goes. So that's Kellic out. Unfortunately, there's a ton more Risen around. Like, come on. How did this many Risen just walk through the palace gardens unnoticed? It's a bit nuts. Also, it looks like the skill 3 does still blind, even though the tooltip says it burns. Which is kind of curious, I guess. Ow. The skill 3 is really good, but it also hurts us. Because we have no allies left, it's like really actually kind of hard. This is kind of cool. This is like a real friggin' fight here. Come on, let's take these guys down. I really think it should disable our utilities because I can always heal with those instead. Let's try and cast the glyph again. Yeah, look, it just fails. It does nothing because the Mortar's Verge has removed that from us. There you go. Logan comes up and the Queen is saved. Huzzah!
Poor Kellic. His mistakes were rooted in his love for Queen and country.
So many mistakes. Made for all the right reasons. The Queen could have been killed by someone who loved her. Even... I mean, it really makes you think.
It's all right, Logan. The Queen is safe. Focus on the future, and Kryta will stay safe too.
Novice, you've shown both intelligence and courage. I rate your performance as exceptional. You should head to Lion's Arch and receive your first formal assignment. It's time to send you out into the field.
I look forward to it, Josiah. It's time to be part of a bigger world. Logan, are you all right? You seem rattled.
I'm glad Jennah's safe, but I realize now that her safety is temporary. Everything is temporary. Unless the dragons can be stopped. The dragons can't be defeated by one person, or even one nation. There has to be another way. Do you think we can overcome our mistakes, my friend? Make up for the things we've done?
I know we can, Logan. Mistakes make us human. It's rising up again that makes us heroes.
You're right. I've been too focused on keeping the Queen safe. I love being at her side, but maybe that's not where I can best defend her. Or Kryta. An old friend named Kaith asked me to meet her at Lion's Arch. I think I'll take her up on that.
I think that's an excellent idea. I'll see you in Lion's Arch.
So here, more signs that this big Lion's Arch meeting that comes up was initiated by Kaith. So yeah, there you go. That's the end of the chapter. Another reason I don't really like this chapter compared to the others is it feels like we skipped. Logan doesn't really do anything in any of these instances, And because he's not present in any of them, it feels like we skip a ton of his character development, exploring his feelings towards the Queen. So then we just kind of like jarringly, he's like, oh yeah, I love her, by the way, at the end here. I think that, you know, they miss a lot there. But there's a ton of dialogue we get now. So, Blessed Lissa, thanks for your mercy. The Kryta's Queen is safe once more. Queen Jennah's very brave, we say. Were you really that worried, Logan? She's my queen and my love. Of course I worry. Even when there's no Kellic banging at her door, I keep an eye out for trouble. Fair enough. Can I ask you another question? Tell me more about this friend you mentioned, Kaith. Who is she? Like, we really don't know who this person is, but they seem to have been the mastermind behind all of it. Logan gives, to the credit of this arc, Logan gives us some amazing information here. You guys ready? So, who is Kaith? Kaith is a Sylvari. She was a scout in my old adventuring fellowship, a guild known as Destiny's Edge. Scout? What do you mean scout? She's a rogue, and a clever one. When our group fell apart, I guess she just never really accepted it. She acts as if we're just taking a break between missions. That's such a sad dialogue. So, guys, the second novel, Edge of Destiny, if you read it, it's about this guild and their breakup. And the book literally ends with them breaking up. And the last paragraph of the book is just like about Kaith in her and her perspective at the end of it, and how she just like won't give up on the group. And so yeah, she acts like we're just taking a break between missions. Wow. Can I ask you more about Kaith? Do you trust her? Yes, he says, and no. Kaith is not my enemy, but she doesn't understand what happened, or that Destiny's Edge is no more. Wow, okay, so she doesn't even understand. Don't forget, the Sylvari are very naive, right? Tell me even more about her. What does she want? Why does she want to meet you in Lion's Arch? Why not here, Divinity's Reach? Well, Lion's Arch, he says, is where it all began. She probably thinks if I see it again, I'll want to get the old group back together. She's stubborn. So yeah, the group was founded there. Can I ask you a different question? There was one more question about Kaith, right? What do you think she wants exactly? It's likely she's discovered something new about the dragons. If I can convince her to tell me, it might benefit Kryta and the Queen. Yeah, what has she discovered about the dragons? Why does she try and make it now, right? We've understood why Ritlox listens to it. We understand why Zoja listens to it. We even understand a little bit now why Logan listens to it, as he recognizes just standing by the Queen all the time won't even keep her safe. That's an excellent goal. If I can help, just let me know.
Greetings.
So, what about Lion's Arch itself? Where specifically? In the Traders Forum, he says, where we first decided to form Destiny's Edge. I'm sure that that's on purpose. Wow. So, yeah. That's a little bit of Logan's perspective. Shining Blade all standing back up. Good job, guys. I know you fell down very briefly there, but no worries. Anise, what do you have to say here? The Shining Blade guards the Queen of Kryta. Nothing that comes through that door will touch her. It's the same. Darling, I devastate. She didn't even do anything. I never doubted you for an instant, Advocate. Kryta has no finer heroes than you and Captain Thackeray. Speaking of Thackeray, it doesn't bother you that he's going to Lion's Arch? I am worried, I admit. Kaith has never been trustworthy in the best of times, and lately, please tell me you'll watch over him. Wow, Kaith's never been trustworthy. Seems like a pretty dodgy person. You know that you could stop him, right? One word from you and he'd stay? No, Advocate. I have enough servants. I want a partner. Logan must be free to make his own decisions. I made such a mistake once before, and I won't make it again. I will miss serving Kryta, Your Majesty. I hope you don't think it was wrong of me to join an order. Wrong? No, as much as I wish you could stay, a hero of your caliber must be free to explore the world. I wish you luck, Advocate. Thank you, ma'am. And so, yeah, that's very kind of you, Your Majesty. No matter where I go, my home will still forever be here.
Knowledge.
Josiah, listen, man, there's a lot going on. He says, well done, novice. I shall write a glowing review of your performance and have it on Steward Gix's desk immediately. Steward Gix? Who's that? Ranked incomparable genius in the Asura colleges. Twice awarded the Meritorious Service Medal of the Iron Legion. Gix is leader of the Dermond Priory. Okay, so listen, the Dermond Priory was founded by a human. Now, Dermond himself is gone, though. That was years ago. Who leads it now? None other than an Asura, baby. Hell yeah. He's an Asura. Isn't that a little strange, we ask? Not at all. His intellectual brilliance led him inevitably to the Dermond Priory. He's a bit grumpy, but astonishing nonetheless. I can't wait to meet him. Can I ask another question? Indeed we will, guys. I love Gix. He's a great character. Logan's asked me to meet him at Lion's Arch. Is that all right? Oh, wait, sorry. What's the next step now that I'm a member? You'll head to Lion's Arch to meet your mentor, a tutor assigned to train you in Priory methodology. Mentor? Who will that be? I don't know who your mentor will be, but I'm sure Gix will choose wisely. Your mentor's advice is critical in establishing your future in the Order. So we're going to meet a mentor as well. Lots of characters. Thank you, Josiah. Goodbye. Hold on. Logan asked me to meet him in LA as well. Is that okay? Of course. The Priory completely understands you have side projects. As soon as you can meet your mentor, You can meet your mentor after that business is done. I will just say goodbye.
We know so little.
Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to a future of exploration and discovery. Farewell, Josir. And there you have it, guys. We level up as well. We get a cool new utility. And that's it, guys. That's domestic human stuff done. We now understand the human piece of the puzzle, and Casey is ready to move through to Lion's Arch and head to the broader story of the Orders and the Dragons. But unlike Bract, who joined the Order of Whispers, unlike Tyrix, who joined the Vigil, Casey is going to be checking out the Dermond Priory. It's time to visit Old LA. I'll see you guys next time.
So, ever been to Lion's Arch?
No, but we're going there someday.
Well, you should let me take you. I've been there. I know the streets. All the things I've seen. The glorious things. You should see them. There's Asura and Char making strange contraptions and shooting them off at night. There's Norn fighting in arenas. And there's Sylvari talking to anybody they can find. I've even seen a Quaggan chief, or whatever they are, waddling about.
No thanks.